Hello, y'all. Welcome to day 2 of the Grow Your Hair Challenge. My name is Chanel E. Martin, and I'm the founder of the Grow Your Hair Challenge and the founder of Her Beauty Regimen. And I'm really excited because we are starting up our expert sessions. Now, our expert sessions are sessions in which we have, Erin found out, amen. We have invited top experts in hair care, health and wellness, and fitness to come and talk to you about what you need to be doing to maintain your hair and health goals. So I have with us today Miss Stephanie Cornelius. And if you are watching this, if you know you got a hair BFF, right? Like you invited somebody, you know somebody that's in this challenge, go ahead and tag them, share this video, and then also, if you're watching the replay, can you do us a favor and put hashtag replay and share with a friend because I'm really excited for tonight's session. So we have Stephanie Cornelius. She is a native of the Carolinas, and she is the CEO of the Hair Maven and Wellness Spa in Charlotte, North Carolina for 10 plus years. Stephanie operates as a licensed cosmetologist and certified trichologist serving healthy hair from the inside out. Her mission is to enhance the health and wellness of women by providing strategies to prevent and aid in the recovery of hair loss while also delivering flawless hairstyles. And so we have the privilege and the honor of carrying her session on healthy body, thriving hair, understanding the impact of wellness and hairstyle choices on hair growth. So I'm gonna jump on off. I'm gonna let Miss Stephanie just dive right on in. This is an interactive session, so if you have questions or comments, please let us know in the comments below, and we're gonna get started.
Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. As she said, I am Stephanie Cornelius. I have been a licensed cosmetologist now for 18 years. Wow. And also a certified trichologist from the American Academy of Hair and Scalp Diseases, where we learn how to help people find the root cause of their hair loss or scalp disorder, and just kind of take the guesswork out of trying to figure out how do I regrow my hair? How do I fix this scalp malady? And help people to learn what's going on internally inside of their body to balance and also to bring wellness into the body. Because one thing about hair is that our hair follows the health of our body. So our hair is a barometer of what's going on internally. And in today's society, if we aren't careful, we're going to eat ourselves to death, literally. Everything that we put on the tip of our spoon, on the tip of our fork, is going to determine whether we're going to feed disease or if we're going to actually fight disease. So I want to talk about 3 points on today. The first point is going to be about nutritional wellness and our hair health. It's also going to be about hairstyling practices and our hair health. And then lastly, what I want to go over is our scalp health and how that impacts the hair growth that we grow out and also that we retain. So, first and foremost, I really want to dive into the nutritional wellness piece because this was a piece that really woke me up while I was matriculating through my course to obtain my certification as a trichologist. And years ago, before I even embarked on getting a trichology certification, I was seeing people behind the chair experience hair loss, excessive dryness with their hair, different scalp maladies. Seborrheic dermatitis in particular was one that I was seeing a lot. And I just, knew that my products was going to fix the dryness. I just knew that, I was going to be able to fix the scaliness that was happening from these scalp disorders. But I realized every effort that I was making to try to help people regrow their hair just wasn't working. And it left me dumbfounded, like, what am I missing? So I decided to go to trichology school so that I can learn even more about the science of our body and what's happening internally that's causing the different hair loss that we're experiencing. So to get into the health of our bodies and the nutrition that we're eating, we really have to ask ourselves a question. Are we fighting disease with what we're about to eat, or are we going to I hate when I have a brain fart. Are we fighting disease or are we going to basically fuel the disease, right? So I have even had to learn this lesson for myself. You got to shop on the outside of the grocery store because everything that's in the inside, things that are in packages, things that have more than 5 ingredients, is so toxic for our bodies. And one thing about our body, and I want to talk specifically about our liver has a lot of different functions. So every time we feed our body something to eat, every time we put a liquid in our body that isn't some type of natural juice or water, we are consuming a lot of different chemicals. We're drinking a lot of different sugary drinks, and that stuff has to get processed, and it has to get processed through our liver. And our liver is so important, and it's an organ that we really have to keep very healthy because it's responsible for so many different functions. And one of those things is detoxifying. And a lot of us are walking around with a heavy amount of inflammation unknowingly. We may be experiencing some symptoms and we may be brushing it off, not really sure, like, this is common. It's no biggie. It's it this happens every day. Like we kind of normalize some of the symptoms that we experience. And little do we know, a lot of that is occurring from the foods that we are eating. So you may have heard other people say shop outside of the grocery store. That is absolutely true because you want to be consuming those whole foods. You want to have lean proteins. You want to have your vegetables. You want to eat plenty of fruits. All of the things that are really healthy and sometimes that may not taste the best as well is what we need to be consuming into our bodies. And I'm going to give an example of this. If we went to Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Burger King, Zaxby's, and those were the things that we ate, how much nutrition are we really able to pull from that food? Because everything that goes inside the body has to get broken down. Then when it gets broken down, it also has to get put inside of our cells. Those cells then travel to our organs, but they also have to travel to feed our hair. And I just want to show you right here. This is the top of our hair. So everything that we put inside of the body has to go through that blood, and it has to be able to feed it in order for the hair to be able to grow out and grow out healthy, right? So we really have to be conscious about what we're putting on our plate, what we're cooking, because I'ma just be honest, as African Americans, we love our fried foods, we love our sugary drinks. Thanksgiving is like the time to feast, right? So we have to really say, all right, am I gonna get myself together so I can have this beautiful, nice thick hair that I've been desiring, so I can stop experiencing this hair loss that I'm experiencing, and also so I can stop experiencing this flaky scalp. I have clients that come in all the time with scalp disorders, and they're like, what can I do about this? And the first thing I say is, the first thing you have to do is shift your mindset about what you're eating. And they're like, what you mean? It ain't a product I can get for that. And I'm like, there are things to help with that process as far as products are concerned with cleansing it off the scalp. But if you don't correct what you're putting in the mouth, then you're going to continue to perpetuate these flakes that you're seeing. And oftentimes, if there is someone on here suffering from that particular scalp disorder, you'll notice even when you shampoo, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days later, it's reoccurring again. And you're like, dang, I just shampooed my hair. What is really going on? And so that's why I'm really stressing the importance of making sure you ask yourself that question before you eat and before you drink anything. All right, let's get down to our second point, which is about the hairstyling choices and also the effects that it has on the actual hair fibers that we grow out. So we live in a world where we have unlimited choices. We have, beautiful wigs, we're wearing extensions, we're wearing braids, silk presses, two-strand twists, all of the above, right? But sometimes some of those hairstyle choices can land us with hair loss. Sometimes you'll see people who will have traction alopecia around the sides of their hair. Let me do it on this side, around the sides of their hair. I've often seen a lot of women come in with hair loss from ponytails. And I love a beautiful ponytail, but sometimes they're put in so tight to the point when they take it down and that hair is released, they'll notice that they'll have a small, maybe nickel dime size of hair loss in that area. And so, when I see people come into my chair, I always ask if it feels tight, if you feel any itching, if you feel any tingling, please take that style down, because that is your body telling you that there is some inflammation present and inflammation that's trying to set in. And we do not want inflammation in the hair follicles, because inflammation, if it continues, it will wreak havoc in the body, and it will also wreak havoc with the hair follicles as well. And you don't want that to happen, because that traction alopecia that may have been temporary could become permanent because of the scarring that takes place. Every time you pull and you pull and you pull on a strand of hair and cause any type of damage to it, that hair follicle is going to say, all right, I'm tired. Okay, you done pulled on me enough. And so what happens is there's so much trauma that happens, it disrupts the hair growth cycle. And then it's like, okay, do I grow? Do I rest? What am I doing? So anytime you're about to schedule an appointment or maybe do a style on yourself, if you feel it, if it is tight, don't say, oh, I could just take a Tylenol or, an Advil. Say, you know what, this is tight. I either need to loosen this or I may need to consider a different style. So I just want to really stress and emphasize any type of hairstyle that feels too tight. If you're itching, if you're tingling, that is a sign of the body saying, woohoo, woohoo. If it's tight, it ain't right. I like that. That's the body saying there's some inflammation there. We have to take care of that. But that also ties back to my point number one. With inflammation and we're feeding sugar into our body all the time, that's also causing inflammation internally inside of the body. And y'all, when I tell you, I want to see everybody's hair flourish and us to really start to be more mindful about what we're putting into our body, and also what we're the hairstyles that we're wearing that is causing the different types of hair loss. And one thing I want to also point out too that I see often behind the chair is whenever you see the first sight of your hair becoming sparse in an area, or you actually see hair loss where it's smooth like a baby's bottom, don't ignore it, okay? That is a symptom. Any type of hair loss you see is a symptom telling you, hey, something's going on here. And if it's not from any type of tight hairstyles, that is your body letting you know that something internally is starting to break down. Our body is interconnected in such a way, if one body system starts to break down, then it will affect another body system. Similarly to how I was talking about the liver earlier. When the liver becomes sluggish because of the foods that we're pouring into it, because of the things that we're choosing to drink, whether they have too much sugar in it or whether it's an alcoholic beverage, all of that stuff has to get processed. But then it starts to affect our cholesterol, because the liver has to produce cholesterol as well. And then also too, with cholesterol, that helps with vitamin D. And then oftentimes when that liver is impaired and it's causing a domino effect with the cholesterol, and then that cholesterol is causing a domino effect with the vitamin D, we'll start to see those numbers go down when we go see our primary care physician. And then we get supplements to help with the rise of those deficiencies. But however, what I can do and what I help people with as a trichologist to uncover, well, why is this vitamin D getting depleted? Why is the cholesterol high? Why is the liver impaired? Because when I get to those dots and start connecting them, that's when I can really help a customer heal. And when the body starts to heal, the hair has no choice but to line up and, like Beyonce says, get information and grow. All right, so we have to take care, and I'm trying not to get too churchy, but we got to take care of our bodies, because this is really a temple. And in order for us to have hair that flourishes, hair that's beautiful and shiny without adding products to it, that first has to happen within. And so this leads me to my last point, to talk about the health of our scalps. As a certified trichologist, I have really learned and understood the importance of detoxifying a client's scalp. Just recently, I was servicing a new guest, and she was telling me about how she had just took her braids down and she oiled her scalp. It was feeling amazing. So what I did was take my trichoscope out, and we scoped the areas of where she had some hair loss, but also the areas of where the oil was present on the scalp. So she was able to see with over applying the oil, because oil is not necessarily bad, but we also have to be careful with the amount that we are putting on the scalp as well. And so she was able to see how it was impacting those hair follicles. And when we hear the word hair follicle, but in order to really help you to understand what that looks like, the hair follicle is the follicular opening from where the hair emerges from the scalp. And so we have to make sure that we're cleansing properly to the scalp by doing scalp detoxes, because that helps to exfoliate the scalp, similar to getting a facial, right? It helps to slough off anything that's in excess on the scalp, but it doesn't necessarily strip the natural oils that we produce from the sebaceous gland that lies up underneath the epidermis of the skin. And so, with getting that scalp detox, that really helps to free up that follicular opening from where the hair is growing, and it doesn't impede the growth. Because imagine having a hole and having a flower come out of that hole, but then you're stuffing that hole so much to the point where the hair is feeling suffocated, really. And that kind of it's almost like a weight that's sitting there, and the hair is trying its best to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, but it has too much buildup in that hair follicle. So doing those scalp detoxes, if you have a stylist that you go to, ask them about it. Ask them, hey, should I get a scalp detox done to my hair? And if they don't offer that service, I would really love for you to encourage them to look into it, to offer it, because to me, not only am I a trichologist, but I am also a hairstylist, and that is the standard in my business. We're going to do a scalp exfoliation. We're going to do a detox. We're going to get rid of all this excess that's on the scalp, because the scalp has its own microbiome. It needs room to breathe. And I always give people the example. If you're not going to go weeks on weeks on weeks without taking a bath and just slathering your body with lotion, then you have to think about the scalp in the same way. The scalp is just an extension of the skin. So if we're going to take care of our skin at night, we also have to take care of the scalp. I also want to touch on the frequency of shampooing, because I have a lot of clients, they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm getting told so many different things. So here's a good rule of measure. Shampooing every 7 to 14 days is best practice. I do understand some people go a little bit longer than that, but that is best practice to help keep your scalp healthy, so that you're able to keep your hair fibers healthy and nice and strong. Do we have any questions from anybody about anything I've said so far? I know I've gone over a mouthful of things, but let me know in the comment section if you have any questions.
And while they're coming up with questions, I want to come up and kind of talk through a few things. You said a lot of things, and a lot. I don't talk about this a lot, but my very first beauty business is a company called Myavana, and we developed a patented hair analysis system in which we look at examine hair under a microscope. And so when we were first developing it out, we had access to an SEM microscope at Georgia Tech, and we did mail order strands. So we gave them a process, they would put their hair. I was telling my daughter about it. She was like, people put their hair in the bag. Yes, and you can still order this product too today on our website at myvana.com. So what was happening was, I don't even know how many hair strands I analyzed over the time at the time when I was a active partner in the business. But one of the things that we saw, and then also on the back end, I developed using science, and I developed a system in which we could match based on like what was going on with your hair, what's happening in your hair, what's not happening in your hair, and so we did some measure. We did like measurements. We did a bunch of cool stuff in the analysis. Well, anyways, the number one issue that we found for hair that each person had with their hair was product buildup. That
Mm,
and I could see it. It was so hard. Like I talked about product buildup so much
yeah.
that my husband, if he were to hear me, he'd be like, oh my gosh, like everybody, it was like, and this was when I was doing the analysis at the time because we were starting up. This is during the boom of the natural hair industry. Everybody's like, they telling you not to wash your hair, co-wash.
Oh, yes.
You remember
Yeah. Oh,
that?
yeah.
So it was like people were wondering why their hair was breaking off.
Mm-hmm.
And what it was like I'm literally seeing like caked
Products, yeah.
on products over and over and over. And so what we it was like the most common recommendation was wash your hair, do a 3-time wash, deep condition, you use a clarifying shampoo, the first wash, the second 2 washes, come back with a moisturizer shampoo and do a deep like it was the most simple instructions. And
Right.
so as you touched on product buildup, even though we have a hair growth stimulant in to ease in that process, it's always recommended that you wash your hair and not keep slathering on products. I was wondering if you could speak a little bit more on product buildup because that is an epidemic in the Black community.
Absolutely. So with product buildup, the hair can only absorb but so much until it just starts to sit on the hair. And I have a couple of different microscopic images of this that I can share on Instagram if you guys want to go over there and look at them. And I'll plug the Instagram towards the end of this. But with product buildup, the hair is like, all right, you didn't put this on me. And then when you keep piling numerous products on the hair on the first day of styling, and then the next day you're piling more products on. And then if you're going longer than 7 or 14 days without shampooing, that hair is just piled on there. And after a while, what you'll notice is your hair doesn't feel good. It starts to feel a little dry because it just has too much products on it. So we really have to be careful with that because if we're putting so much product on the hair, it just really kind of creates just this almost like this cast that just really covers the hair. And the hair is just kind of like, I don't know what to do. Like you keep putting stuff on me, you keep putting stuff on me, and the hair will get, heavier and more limp by the day. And this actually makes me remember a conversation I was having with my client yesterday because I was telling her, I was like, you don't have to put this much oil on your scalp. And I was telling her that it's actually been about 20 years since I put anything on my scalp. And she couldn't believe it. She's like, wait a minute. You don't put nothing on your scalp? And I was like, not a thing. And I said, you'll realize that your scalp actually does produce its own oils when you don't put anything on it. And then you will really realize, oh, my hair needs to be washed because it's going to start to feel different. It'll feel heavier once you put your hands through your hair. Ooh, messing up the hair. Once you put your hands through your hair, you will feel that oil on your scalp. So product buildup is just a no-go, especially if you aren't detoxifying the scalp and also detoxifying those hair strands as well. And if you were to ask me, how frequently should I get this done? I actually recommend it about every month or every 2 months, depending if you have a scalp malady or not. So hopefully that answers your question about the product buildup.
Yes, thank you so much for talking about that because what I realized is that a lot of us just are not washing our hair, and I was not washing my hair properly at all until I started looking and realizing like, oh, I was just in the shower doing a little
Mm-hmm.
quick little something. It felt clean, and then I was
Yeah.
on. Well, now I don't even wash my own hair, y'all. Chad, bless me. Uh, but I'm so glad that you touched on that because we have to wash our hair. And one of the
Mhm.
things that I've noticed for me is I've been working out and I cannot go, I think after about look, we on day 7 and my hair is so
Right.
right now. And I'm like, oh, when I
Right.
get my hair washed. And so I'm glad that you touched on this. Tamika Duncan has a question. She asked, what is the best temperature of water to wash your hair? Um,
Mhm.
I didn't know if you had any wisdom on that.
So for temperature wise, I mean, it doesn't need to be scalding hot, of course, but just warm enough to get the hair cleansed. And if you want to, after shampooing, to rinse your conditioner off with like tepid, lukewarm to close to cool water to rinse that conditioner out of the hair. But I'm not sure how you could measure the temperature of the water exactly, but you definitely don't want it scalding hot. Like if it's burning your skin, then it's too hot.
That's good. Okay, so it shouldn't be burning your skin. I'm trying to think of anything else that someone might want to ask but don't know what to ask because you definitely gave us a good round overview from the science in here and talking about our
Mhm.
health, talking about our diet, talking about overloading with product. Oh, that was another thing. Like, y'all, the product thing is super important to me. I do have one last question since we're talking
Mhm.
about cleansing the hair and cleansing the scalp. What do you think about like dry shampoos or spot cleaning? Because we have people, a lot of people that wear
Mhm.
wigs, weaves, and extensions, and I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
So this is a really good question because I had another client ask me this. I do think dry shampoos have their place, but I don't think that they should replace your regular shampoo. I had a customer trying to replace her regular shampoo with dry shampoo, and I told her that that's good to use in a temporary situation. And I'll give a good example of myself. When I got married, I used dry shampoo that morning to kind of get rid of the excess oil so I could just style my hair for the wedding day because there was no way I had time to get my hair shampoo because I was wearing extensions. But that isn't something that I would recommend to use for long term. It's just one of those emergency situations where you just really want to kind of freshen your scalp and your hair up, style it. But then maybe a day or 2 days later, I would definitely use regular clarifying shampoo and also a nice moisturizing or hydrating shampoo soon. So definitely just don't try to use it as a replacement.
That is really good. I don't see any other questions come in, but this was really informative. I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to share your wisdom. Is there any way? I think I have. Can you drop your social media in the chat? I think
Absolutely.
and how people can connect with you on and offline in the chat. We would love to learn more about what you offer and how we can stay connected. Go ahead. I know
Yes,
I
so
know. Go ahead.
I am on Instagram as well as TikTok as the Hair Maven with a Y in it. My website is hairmaven.com. I also have an ebook on my website that talks about seborrheic dermatitis. If anyone is on this live listening or listening to the replay and you're struggling with that type of scalp disorder, that is a good ebook to grab and read. It's only $7.99 and it's full of amazing information that will break down what exactly is seborrheic dermatitis and what you can do about it, the foods that contribute to it, what it does to your gastrointestinal system. It also talks a little bit about products, but then I also threw in some freebies of some amazing recipes, some juices, some smoothies that will help that are anti-inflammatory because when you have a scalp malady like that, you can guarantee that there is a lot of inflammation that's wreaking havoc in that body. So I have a lot of anti-inflammatory recipes inside of that book that you can grab that will change your life. And also, if there's anyone on here that's listening that is having an issue with hair loss or they just want some guidance with their hair, then I would invite you to visit my website at hairmaven.com and we can do a free discovery session so that I can help answer any type of questions that you may have that you didn't think of tonight.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, so hopefully you guys understand that it's not just about the products you put on your hair. That is one of the things I've been around these hair industry streets
Yes.
since 2012. So we're talking, I've been
Yes.
12 years, and it was all about, well, what product can I make my hair curl? What
Uh-huh.
like no, it really starts from the inside out. And so I love how you have just the recipes and an anti-inflammatory diet, which y'all real talk, it's gonna help you more than just your hair. Some of the sickness
Right.
in your body, the pain that you're feeling in your joints, the fatigue that you have. really has to deal with your body is fighting and inflame, you're
Inflammation.
fighting an
Yeah.
inflamed body from the inside out. And so yeah,
Yeah.
that's all we got.
It
Well,
everything is just on the tip of the fork. I can guarantee you that's where it starts. When you can master that and when you can get that down pack and also remember you're feeding your temple, you'll be like, all right, let me get myself together. Let me stop snacking on these chips, snacking on these cookies, going to this drive-through. Like you will really start to have a shift in your mind because that's where it starts, is in your mind and also just in your heart. How much do you really care about yourself? How much are you really loving on yourself to be able to make the shift and change from what you're used to into what you really want to be?
that's good. So
Yes.
everyone, I dropped the link. Go to Hair Maven, MAYVEN.com and grab her ebook to get the information that she just shared and the recipes. And we just want to say thank you yet again for being on this Q&A call, y'all. In addition to Miss Stephanie, we have so many other amazing speakers. We'll be back at 12 for like a little Friday midday get up with a motivational moment with another speaker, and then we'll meet back here on Tuesday evening. So she talked about working out. There's some also in the free workbook you guys got. There are some recipes and some grocery lists to help you aid with your hair growth. And then also we have products and vitamins and different things that you can use that can help you pay attention. So I want to say this, like a hair, like even with our fresh hair and scalp oil, it's not necessarily about the oil, although the ingredients were very intentional. It's about you paying attention to what's going on with your hair and with your scalp and being intentional about maintaining everything that you need to find success. So, all right, guys, we will see y'all later. Check your email
Bye.
for the updates, and don't forget to give your progress updates in the Facebook group. Bye.